Welcome to Ireland with Michael. I'm Michael Londra, and in this show I get to tell you everything I love about my own country the only way I know how, through music. Today I'm standing on an ancient street in Waterford, known around the world for the production of the highly acclaimed and much sought after Waterford crystal. But this is a city just waiting to be discovered. Dramatic Viking origins, massive works of sand art, and an horologist's delight are just some of the things waiting for us in the Crystal City. So let's get to it.
Ireland with Michael is made possible by
whether travelling to Ireland for the first time or just longing to return. There's plenty more information available at ireland.com.
CIE Tours, sharing the magic of Ireland for nearly 90 years.
Aer Lingus has been bringing people home since 1936. If you're thinking about Ireland, Aer Lingus is ready when you are to take you home.
Located on Ireland's southeast coast, the city and county of Waterford were founded in the 9th century as a Viking stronghold. Originally called Woodstown, it was the largest Viking settlement outside of Scandinavia. If you're going to start anywhere in Waterford, it's got to be right here at the House of Waterford Crystal. The city's been perfecting this unique and breathtaking glassware, more intricate and elaborately carved than anywhere else on the planet since before the idea of a United States of America was even dreamed up. But what are we doing here? Well, they're making the stuff right inside, and I know just the man to show me around. Glenn, how are you?
Good, how are you keeping?
Will
nice
we go
to see
inside?
you. Yeah, let's do it.
Glenn Murphy is an Irish singer making a name for himself all around the world. You might have seen him on The Ellen Show, but more importantly for us today, he was born and raised in Waterford and has agreed to show us around.
See all the moulds.
Every piece of Waterford crystal starts as a mould, cut to the finished piece by craftsmen like John Keane. It is a real treat for me to meet you. I have a load of Waterford crystal back in my house in Iowa, and I get to look behind the magic now and meet people like yourself. Waterford crystal has been your whole life, really.
Yeah, since I was 14 years of age. Everything was timber moulded then, everything had to be made from timber.
Right, there was no automation.
No automation whatsoever, no.
Is a lot of your work very individual, do you think? Is it?
Yeah, a lot of the pieces since we came down here now have been individual pieces, like the piece there for the fireman's helmet for Mariano Rivera, and his...
The baseball player?
And his baseball glove as well,
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, how many years have you worked here now?
51.
51.
51 this year.
You'll give it another 50, will you?
No, well, next year with the help of God I'll be gone.
All right, you can put your feet up then.
Yeah, retire.
Well, thanks, John. It's nice to meet you. As you walk through Waterford Crystal, that is amazing. You get a sense of craftsmanship that almost belongs to another time. I've been coming down to Waterford Crystal, being from Wexford for many years, and I've seen you do this many times before, but it still blows my mind, pardon the pun. How long did it take you to learn what you do?
Oh, a lifetime. I started when I was 15, did a 5-year apprenticeship, and then 3 more years to become a master blower, and I'm at it now, I think 36, 37 years. And
it seems to me that you're like a family. It's a tight group of people, and I guess you get to know each other well.
Oh yeah, we all grew up together. Even real family, like I'm nearly third generation glassblower. You know, I had brothers in here, dads, uncles, real family.
Do you stop learning after your apprenticeship, or is it and do you constantly make mistakes, or?
Yeah, you never stop. You're always learning. It's only a fool will think he knows it all. You know, even these new glasses now, we're just still learning those.
Oh, right, new designs happened all the time, I guess.
Every month, new designs.
Well, Edgar, long may you blow glass, because I love the stuff.
Nice to do it as well.
That knowledge and artistry is all on display here in the main showroom. Glenn Murphy, we are in the glorious Waterford Crystal Showroom. I want to talk about another wonder of Waterford, and that is your singing voice. I am amazed by your talent. You're one of the most beautiful lyric tenor voices I have ever heard.
Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company.
I first heard you on The Ellen Show, and that's where I think people in America will know you from. But you're a Waterford native. Did you grow up in the city?
Oh yeah, I've been living in Waterford now my whole life. I went to college in Dublin, but I've been back living here now for a couple of years, and this is really where I learned to sing. You know, especially in the theatre scene down here in Waterford is so full of life, and there's so much going on down here, and there was all through my childhood that I was always on stage. I was in choirs, I was in musicals, I was in concerts. Anything that I could do to get in front of an audience, I just grabbed the opportunity to do.
Of all the comrades that e'er I had, they are sorry now for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be with you all.
And the first time that American audiences probably saw you live was when you toured with Celtic Woman, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, myself and my friend Ronan, we're in a duo, Glenn and Ronan, and we toured with Celtic Woman for 2 years, which was an amazing experience. Everyone we met along the way was so lovely and so welcoming, and it was just a wonderful experience to meet American audiences, see American towns, the theatres over there. It was just really incredible.
And you are now a solo artist. Your Celtic Woman days are behind you, and you're forging your own career now, your own recording career. Yeah. What's next for Glenn Murphy?
So I'm currently working on my first ever EP, you know, which is an exciting prospect. I'm working on songs at the minute, you know, some originals, some covers, and some musical theatre stuff. I love to sing all types of music, so what I'm really doing at the minute is just finding which ones I think are right and which ones I think that people kind of want to hear.
A man may drink and not be drunk. A man may fight and not be slain. A man may court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcomed home again. But since it has so ordered been, a time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. So good night and joy be with you all.
Just across the street from the Crystal Centre is the old Bishop's Palace. Designed first by Richard Castle, who departed to build Leinster House in Dublin, and completed by honest John Roberts, a Waterford local. Inside you'll find only the finest 18th century furniture, silver, paintings and of course crystal. Isn't it always the case that the bishops end up with the nicest houses? Well, thankfully, here in Waterford, the palace and its treasures have been opened up to the public. And we've got the resident expert to show us all of it. Eamon McEnany, Director of Waterford Treasures, which covers the museums in all of this quarter. So Eamon, here we are in this incredible dining room.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful dining room. It's nearly 300 years old, the room itself. And the chandelier you're looking at, of course, is one of the finest Waterford chandeliers dating to the 1780s. It's probably the finest chandelier in Ireland, is set in a historic context here. And when you think of it, it was only made a couple of hundred yards away from here in Penrose Lane, named after the family, of course, who established the factory here in 1783. And it all adds to the whole theatre of dining, which was basically showing off how wealthy and how important you were to have then this beautiful chandelier. And everyone, of course, ate. There wasn't electricity or there weren't oil lamps at this stage, so they ate under candlelight, so everyone looked fabulous regardless of how old you were. They didn't need Botox or anything like that, so they all looked wonderful. And of course, and everything was about sparkly things, because the sparkles reflected the light, and that saved money on candles, which were extremely expensive. So even the very, very wealthiest people in Ireland would invite you to dinner early, or invite you to dinner on a moonlit night, A, that you could get to the place safely, and B, that there was enough ambient light within the house also, and then of course mirrors then reflected the light of these chandeliers, and every little bit of cut crystal was to reflect the light. Wow. And that's why ladies wore shiny silk and big jewels to reflect, and the gentlemen had epaulets and gold braid on their uniforms and brass buttons, and the whole thing was just keep reflecting light everywhere. And even everything on the table is about reflecting light. The silverware and all the glassware, again, it's all cut to reflect light.
What's so cool about this corner of Waterford is that there's a museum for just about everything. There's so much here. How do you find the time? Oh, that's right. At the Irish Museum of Time, of course.
Now, Michael, we have the largest collection in the world of Irish timepieces going back to the 1680s, the earliest Irish long case clock or grandfather clock, the earliest Irish bracket clock, this is a bracket clock, and the earliest Irish watches going back to the 1680s. I'll just show you this one in particular because it was found in a Waterford house, in fact, at an auction about 20 years ago. Oh. It's, you know, that we all hear a clock going tick-tock. This is the very first clock in the world that tick-tocked. It's called an anchor escapement. And there was a dispute about this with the British Museum and all the rest of it. Their clock is 10 years later than this, and this one is signed and dated by a London maker. And the inside of it, the insides of all these wonderful clocks are all done in brass, but this one is brass which is gilded. They put a gold leaf over all of it. And obviously the man who made it, William Clement, said, look at this is going to be one of the most important clocks in the world, so I'll really give it the full Montini, put the gold leaf on it. There's some spectacular clocks, like this one here is the largest one ever made. And it would tell you the day made 300 years ago exactly. It would tell you not only the time, month, the day of the month, and it played music. So it was, imagine to be able to do that in 1720. People were saying to me, who's that interested in clocks and watches? But I think everyone is.
Everybody's obsessed with time.
Yeah, they are. The most used noun in the English language is the word time. So it's very important. We are all obsessed with time, being on time and all the rest of it, and how much time have we left in life. And so it's a really wonderful exhibition.
Eamon, would you tell me a little bit about this boat?
Yeah, this boat is based on a piece of ship's timbers that we found in our archaeological excavations. And then we worked with the people in Denmark, and they were telling us that a boat this size is what the piece of timber came from. So we had a group of volunteers make this ship, rebuild this ship from the drawings we got from Denmark. Our Vikings are Norwegians, and this was the name they had on the city, Waterford. It's about 13 miles upstream from the coast, and it means a haven from the windy sea in Norwegian. And Waterfjordur became Waterford.
Wow. And why did you put the longboat right here?
Well, because it's beside the only monument in Ireland named in honour of a Viking. It's called Reginald's Tower, and that name has been on it for 1,000 years. And Reginald was the first king of Waterford. There was also Reginald there when the Normans came in 1170, and they brought the 4 Viking leaders of the city into this tower in 1170, and they played good cop, bad cop. They killed 2 of them, and they freed 2 of them. And the idea was that this is your lesson. If you cooperate with us, we'll be merciful. If you don't, we'll chop your head off. So there were hard lessons to learn.
Eamon, I know you are the expert when it comes to Viking history, so much so that I hear that Norway bestowed a great honour on you. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I have a great interest. Nobody's an expert on these things. We're still learning about our history.
Okay.
Yes, in 2019, the King of Norway made me a member of, gave me the honour of merit, which is a knighthood in Norway, for, I suppose, involving Irish people in our Norse heritage, and particularly the people of Waterford in our Norse heritage, because I came up with this idea of developing this area here to show off our history, which, of course, as the oldest city, goes back to the Viking times.
I can safely say that I've had the most interesting day that I've had in Ireland in many a year, and that's because of you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Waterford was founded due to its proximity to the sea, and it forms a significant part of your identity growing up here, as it did in Wexford, my own hometown just to the east. But there's an artist out here who's doing something truly spectacular with the transient canvas of the shoreline.
Manuel, we are about a half hour's drive and about 1 million miles away from Waterford City here in Stradbally Cove on the Copper Coast. And I wanted to come down to meet you because you do something really, really special that has intrigued me for a few years now. Could you tell me about your sand art?
Well, I started exactly on this place about 7 years ago, and actually the first thing I did was getting a piece of driftwood and drawing the tattoo, which is our wedding ring, the design of that onto that beach with the kids in the background. So that's how everything started.
So it was romance that started this art then?
Kind of, yeah. We we go with that, yeah.
And so tell me, what first drew you to kind of creating art out of nature?
To see the contrast when you kind of do go over the sand with the rake, that kind of gives me the idea to go for bigger designs. And I'm always kind of drawing at home, and I just rescaled that onto a big size.
Could I have a look at those technical drawings and how you start and grow it to the masterpiece that they become?
Of course you can. So I'm working these out at home. Takes a couple of nights to get it all the dimensions that I want, and I kind of work out a construction plan for the beach, how to proceed. I do a lot of measurement. I do outlining first, and at the very end I start actually raking and shading, because when I rake the sand, the tidal sand is dry and bright on the surface, and there's a lot of moisture underneath. So when I rake it, that moisture comes up, is dark, the sand is darker, and that creates a contrast, and that's how I draw.
And can I have a look at the tools?
Well, the
Are there
tools,
special tools?
no, it's just an ordinary garden rake, which I actually got in Lidl.
Wow.
And it's you can
yes!
you can expand it to any size you want.
Very good.
And as I said, it's nothing special. Of course, I made some special ones out of where I kind of have not as wide ones and
For more intricate design.
Sometimes I use the brush as well for the shading and stuff like that. But this would be the basic basic tool.
Well, I know I'm fascinated by the designs. I know they're endless, and I love that you've made Celtic art a part of Celtic nature in a way.
Yeah, well, I'm big into the Celtic knots, the Celtic designs, and they're a challenge to do on the beach, because on the big scale with the endless knots, it's kind of, you easily get lost in the big scale, and so it's kind of a nice challenge for me.
Cuiva, Cian, Cayley and Diarmid, and together ye are Tulua. Now, I thought that was a Gaelic name, but you're enlightening me now and telling me it's not Gaelic, but it's
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Yeah, it's
and
off the cuff.
what does it mean?
It means becoming more, or rising.
Rising, becoming more, and at your tender age, I guess the only way is up. So
Well, hopefully, anyway. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about what it's like to be a teenager playing traditional music in Ireland. Did you grow up playing music?
Yeah, so there's a school of music just up the road from us, and we kind of just grew up from going from primary school, and we kind of got introduced to that school of music, and yeah, that's where we met each other, and we started going to flas, and we started doing little events and all that the school of music organised, and through that we kind of developed our own interest, you know, for trad. We weren't like directly playing with each other, we were playing with like big bands and big groups. But it's only recently that really kind of came together, and
Yes.
you know, kind of started incorporating each other's our own individual music with each other's.
So you're, in a way, you're kind of finding your style now.
Oh yeah, we're still really trying to search for it, like.
Well, I am obviously obsessed with traditional music, and when I discover new young talent that I'm excited by it, I want the whole of America to learn about it. Now, do you have designs on touring? Would you like to hit America soon?
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, that'd be one up there as one of the best things we could even imagine to do with it.
Yeah. Well, what I'd love to do is let American audiences hear you. So let's give them a piece of Tulua. Thanks for joining me on my travels around Waterford. I'm Michael Landra. Thanks for watching Ireland with Michael. For now, cheers. Sláinte.
Want to continue your travels to Ireland? A deluxe Ireland with Michael DVD featuring all episodes of Season 1 and 2 plus bonus concert footage is available for $30. A copy of the Ireland with Michael companion travel guide featuring places to visit as seen in Seasons 1 and 2 is also available for $30. A set of both is available for $55.
To learn more about everything you've seen in this episode, go to IrelandWithMichael.com.
Ireland with Michael was made possible by
Whether travelling to Ireland for the first time or just longing to return, there's plenty more information available at Ireland.com.
CIE Tours, sharing the magic of Ireland for nearly 90 years.
Aer Lingus has been bringing people home since 1936. If you're thinking about Ireland, Aer Lingus is ready when you are to take you home.